Have you ever heard of a king who tried to change a nation's gods overnight? This is the story of Akhenaten, the pharaoh who turned Egypt toward a single, blinding sun. Let's rewind to ancient Egypt. Around 1353 BC, the land of the pharaohs was a place of countless gods and goddesses. Amun-Ra, the king of the gods, was the most powerful, with a priesthood that held immense wealth and influence. Then, a new pharaoh ascended the throne. His name was Amenhotep IV, but he wouldn't be called that for long. In the early years of his reign, something shifted. He started elevating a minor solar deity, the Aten, represented not as a human or animal, but as a golden sun disk, whose rays ended in tiny hands, offering life to the world. This was a radical departure from the animal-headed gods Egypt had worshipped for millennia. Amenhotep wasn't just adding a new god, he was championing a new idea. Then, he did the unthinkable. He changed his name from Amenhotep, which meant Amen is satisfied, to Akhenaten, meaning effective for the Aten. This was more than a name change. It was a declaration of war on the old religious order. He declared the Aten to be the one and only true God, the universal creator of all life, not just for Egyptians but for everyone. Imagine the shockwaves this sent through society. For centuries, Egyptian life had revolved around a complex pantheon. Now, their king was telling them it was all wrong. The powerful priests of Amun-Ra suddenly found their temples defunded and their influence evaporating. Akhenaten wasn't gentle about it. He ordered the names and images of Amen and other major gods to be chiseled off temples and monuments across the kingdom. It was a nationwide campaign to erase the past. But Akhenaten didn't stop there. He abandoned Thebes, the traditional capital and a hub for the Amen cult, and built an entirely new city from scratch in the middle of the desert. He called it Akhetaten, the horizon of the Aten, today known as Amarna. This was to be a pure city, dedicated solely to his new god. Palaces, temples, and homes for tens of thousands of people sprang up at an incredible speed. Art from this period is just as revolutionary. Gone were the stiff, formal poses of traditional Egyptian art. The Amarna style showed the royal family Akhenaten, his famous Queen Nefertiti, and their daughters in surprisingly intimate, naturalistic, and almost fluid scenes. They were depicted playing with their children, kissing, and basking in the rays of the Aten. It was a complete aesthetic overhaul. In his new city, Akhenaten acted as the sole intermediary between the Aten and humanity. Only he and Nefertiti could truly understand and communicate with the sun god. For everyone else, worship was directed not to the Aten itself, but to the royal family. They became the new Holy Trinity. This was the world's first documented instance of monotheism, the belief in one god, an idea so powerful it would shape the future of global religions. But was it a spiritual revolution or a political power grab? By dismantling the old priesthood, Akhenaten consolidated immense power and wealth into his own hands. The state, the religion, and the pharaoh became one. While he focused on his religious project, it seems he neglected other duties. Letters found at Amarna, known as the Amarna letters, revealed that Egyptian allies in the Near East were begging for military aid against invaders. Pleas that Akhenaten largely ignored. His obsession with the Aten was all-consuming. For about 17 years, Akhenaten's vision dominated Egypt. But it was a vision built on one man's will, and it wouldn't last. When Akhenaten died, his revolution died with him. His successors, including the famous boy king Tutankhamun, quickly moved to undo everything he had done. Tutankhamun's original name was Tutankhaten, living image of the Aten. He changed it to Tutankhamun, living image of Amun, signaling a complete return to the old ways. The priests of Amun returned to power with a vengeance. The city of Akhetaten was abandoned to the desert sands. Akhenaten's name and image were systematically erased from records and monuments, just as he had done to the old gods. He was branded the heretic king, and for 3,000 years, history all but forgot him. It wasn't until the 19th century, when archaeologists rediscovered the ruins of his lost city, that the story of this revolutionary pharaoh was pieced back together. So what is Akhenaten's legacy? Was he a visionary spiritual leader, centuries ahead of his time, or a power-hungry tyrant whose obsession brought Egypt to the brink? The truth is probably somewhere in between. He was a radical thinker who dared to challenge 1,000 years of tradition, forcing his people to see the world and the divine in a completely new light. His revolution failed, but the idea he unleashed, the idea of a single, universal God, never truly went away. The story of the heretic king is a powerful reminder of how a single person's vision can change the course of history, even if only for a fleeting, sun-drenched moment. Thanks for watching. If you found this journey into ancient Egypt fascinating, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more stories from history. See you next time.